Tired of plain old burgers and fries? Looking to reel in some fresh flavors for your lunch? Grilled, battered, and fried. If you're a fish fan, these are the chain sandwiches you'll want to try. Just be sure to catch them while you can. The Wisconsin-based burger chain, known as Culver's, is recognized primarily for its butter burgers and frozen custard. When it comes to its sandwiches, though, the franchise promises that nothing is ever frozen. Every slab of meat gets placed on the grill only after it's ordered by a customer. While this approach usually means there are a few extra minutes between ordering and when the dish makes it to the table, it's well worth the wait according to those who've had the pleasure of eating there. This is especially true for its fish sandwiches, according to satisfied customers. The chain's North Atlantic cod sandwich features a tartar sauce made from a proprietary recipe, lettuce, sprinkled Wisconsin cheddar cheese, and a crispy fillet of breaded flavorful cod. One Redditor described it as the best fast food sandwich, while another shared, "Number 1 in my book. After eating their fish sandwich, I can't even look at Filet-O-Fish." This glowing attitude was reflected on virtually every platform we could find. So, next time you're craving some fish on a hoagie, you might want to consider heading to your nearest Culver's to see what all the freshly caught buzz is about.
5 heaping piles of tender roast beef for only $10 measly dollars. Can you even believe it?
The fast food franchise known as Arby's began in 1964. The world currently has over 3,500 Arby's locations in 9 countries, with the chain having become the second largest quick-service sandwich brand on the planet. While you may attribute this success to the chain's sizzling beef burgers or its sliced roast beef and cheese creations, you may want to stop for a moment. Consider placing the restaurant's multiple fish sandwich variants in the running, too. One of these is the King's Hawaiian Fish Deluxe Sandwich, which utilizes a Sweet King's Hawaiian bun. Another is the Crispy Fish Sandwich, which includes a crunchy fried filet and tartar sauce as its star components. And finally, a third sandwich, known as the Spicy Fish Sandwich, is very similar to the original crispy fish in its components, except for the addition of fire-roasted jalapenos on top. Although all 3 differ slightly in their flavor profiles, each of these fishy dishes has given way to some overwhelmingly positive reviews. But there is some slightly bad news. These fish-based sandwiches currently only appear at Arby's for a limited time each year. Similar to the original McDonald's move, Arby's fish sandwich releases often fall in line with the annual Catholic observance of Lent. Quite frankly, we're pretty sure these fish-forward morsels would get snatched up quickly, regardless of the time of year. It's safe to say that when one thinks about Hooters, the sports bar chain that first opened in Clearwater, Florida, its orange-clad serving staff and famous breaded wings are generally the first thing to come to mind. But for those consumers who have tasted the chain restaurant's seafood sandwich, to learn that it's a juicy, whopping dish constructed from a massive fillet of fried cod, fish has joined the Hooters mental association forever. Though you've probably never even heard of the Hooters Big Fish Sandwich until now, it is evidently heaven on a hoagie roll. One giant piece of codfish is either grilled or battered and fried, depending on the customer's preference, before being finished off with a simple layer of tartar sauce. The seemingly basic recipe is exactly what makes it so marvelous by not taking away from the fish itself. On a post ranking restaurant seafood sandwiches, one Redditor said, "The one place I would really love to see on here is Hooters. It's been a while, but ever since I was young I've always ordered the Big Fish Sandwich, and it's excellent. You get a giant piece of fried white fish, and it's delicious." The next time you're perusing a Hooters menu and looking to deviate from your usual order of wings, we recommend looking no further than the chain's fish-forward hoagie creation.
First the batter, then the meal.
Nashville, Tennessee may be known as the country music capital, but it also happens to be the birthplace of one of the nation's most celebrated seafood restaurant joints. Captain D's, which began as Mr. D's Seafood and Hamburgers, opened in 1969, bringing a lower price tag on delicious, higher-quality fishy dishes for the masses. And while you're almost certainly destined to find taste bud happiness through virtually any of the picks from the successful chain, it is the giant fish sandwich, according to consumers, that is well and truly noteworthy. What makes this Captain D's sandwich stand out from the crowd at first glance is its sheer size. Customers receive not 1, but 2 fish fillets on a toasted bun, finished off with lettuce and a dollop of tartar sauce. While looks aren't always everything, people confirm that the gigantic masterpiece delivers on flavor. However, constructing fried fish perfection takes time, so if you go into a Captain D's expecting the speed of a McDonald's, be sure to adjust your expectations, as one Redditor cautioned. Though your giant Captain D sandwich may not come out as quickly as some other fast casual restaurants might do, happy customers argue that the bite is more than worth the wait.
Good thing there's a burger made just for you. Good thing there's Whataburger.
There's just something to love about Whataburger. Perhaps it's the classic diner feel that one gets after stepping through the doors at any of its nearly 950 locations. Since the chain opened in the 1950s, it has maintained that nostalgic aura, as well as its menu of incredible burgers for which it originally became famous. However, many consumers are so focused on the beef coming from the Whataburger kitchens that they forget about the fish. Cue the What a Catch, a sandwich that more than lives up to its name, going by the many satisfied customers. The What a Catch is a combination of lettuce, tomato, sauce, and an Alaskan pollock fillet coated in breadcrumbs and then fried. It's served together on a soft, toasty bun. A user on Reddit said, "Oh, Whataburger, you've done it again. Finally tried it tonight. Heaven on a bun. Giant tasty piece of battered fish. Light sauce, some lettuce, and a tomato slice. It's perfection. I don't know how I'll survive if I ever move to a state without Whataburger." High praise indeed, which we found to be shared across the board. Sadly, the What a Catch is only offered for a limited time each year. In 2023, it preceded the Lenten season, dropping on February 20. So it seems we may be getting closer to its release with the new year just around the corner. Keep your eyes open and don't miss hooking one of these savory treats while it lasts. The very first Popeyes Louisiana Chicken opened up in New Orleans in 1972 and has since become one of the most celebrated fast food chicken chains in the world, featuring many of the unique and notable Cajun flavors associated with the Big Easy. In much of its fare, the franchise is heralded for its fantastic fried chicken, shrimp poppers, and sandwiches. One of these is called the Flounder Fish Sandwich. And though it currently only graces us with its presence once a year, according to consumers, it is definitely worth the effort of reeling it in. While debating on a post about the best fast service fish sandwiches, one Redditor wrote, "Popeyes, hands down, no more questions." Another user declared, "This is the best fish sandwich in all of fast food. It's really good and I recommend it." The creation itself presents a crusted filet with Cajun seasonings as its star, a thick spread of tartar sauce, and, differentiating itself from the majority of fish sandwich takes, a layer of sliced pickles all served together on a brioche bun. This dreamy dish last dropped in February 2023, so as we get closer to the start of our next trip around the sun, be on the lookout for news of its expected release yet again. You don't want to miss your chance to go fishing for this one.
Feel like I'm right by the sea or something?
Wendy's is one of those burger restaurants committed to fresh beef. None of its foods, the chain insists, are ever frozen. The chain's commitment to better quality fast food seems to extend to its widely celebrated crispy panko fish sandwich, which takes breaded wild Alaskan pollock, dill tartar sauce, pickles, and the unique addition of a slice of melty American cheese to finish things off. The result is a savory, flaky, flavorful mouthful with every bite, and one that consumers gobble up happily in February when it is usually released on a limited-time basis. However, there seems to be some confusion surrounding the sandwich's seasonal status. According to consumers and employees on various platforms, when it hits menus seems to vary greatly by region. For some locations, there might not be such a time at all. An alleged employee reported on Reddit, "I was just informed by my manager that we aren't getting a fish sandwich. Does this depend on location?" The conversation that followed made it clear that it very much does, with another alleged Wendy's worker claiming that if the sandwich underperforms one year at a particular store, it may not be ordered in the subsequent one. Yet on the same thread, multiple employees reported that their stores offered the fish sandwich year-round. So despite the seemingly arbitrary rules surrounding this particular Wendy's sandwich availability, you're still in for a treat as long as you're lucky enough to catch one. The story of the Checkers and Rally's fast food chain is an interesting one. The two are virtually the exact same restaurant with the exact same owners. The only real difference between the two is that they go by different names depending on region. In both the South and the Eastern states, the chain is known as Checkers, while in the Midwest, the restaurant is Rally's. Whatever you call it, you can't deny the truth that the burger joint offers up some pretty delicious staples on its menu, including the crispy fish sandwich. Though it isn't clear exactly what type of fish is used here, it doesn't seem to matter to many customers. Whatever the catch is, it is downright delicious, they say. A happy reviewer wrote on TripAdvisor, The fish was hot, cooked properly, and I was very pleased. These positive reviews keep rolling in, whether you're on Reddit or TikTok, prompting us to add the checkers or rallies, fishy, saucy, cheesy, and chopped lettuce bedecked sandwich to our list. With a name like Bonefish Grill, you'd expect a restaurant that knows what it's doing when it comes to constructing delicious fish-based sandwiches. Thankfully, you won't be disappointed at the sit-down chain, which has more than 170 locations in the US as of 2023. The celebrated seafood restaurant's menu includes dishes like grilled rainbow trout, crab cakes, and poke bowls, crafted with tuna. The BFG fish sandwich reportedly looks a bit different at every location, changing in accordance with what's available that day. But one thing's for certain, whatever type of fish fillet is on offer is cooked to perfection and coated in the restaurant's signature bang bang sauce and nestled in a toasted bun. It's sure to be memorable. Excellent, superb, and delicious are just a few of the glowing terms used by eaters across a bevy of online platforms to describe the blackened fish sandwich at Bonefish Grill. Their words, combined with photographs that make the food look all the more irresistible, make this catch a hard one to throw back. We're willing to bet that once you get a bite, you'll be just as hooked as the rest of us.